So I see payments evolving massively going forward.
Cross-border payments are evolving faster than ever. There's a tremendous amount of energy at all levels of the system.
The payments industry is undergoing a renaissance. Globally, payments represent the most well-funded segment within Fintech. In 2021 alone, payment startups raised $32 billion and 52 new payments unicorns were born in the same year. Closer to home in Southeast Asia, the digital payments gross transaction value, GTV, is predicted to exceed $1 trillion by 2025. This is unsurprising, as 85% of consumers are reported to be embracing a variety of cashless payments, from cards payments to e-wallets.
What we see in Southeast Asia, it's one of the fastest growing mobile wallet regions in the world. Consumers and merchants adopting, basically reinforcing each other, fueling that growth. Consumer e-wallets usage, I think we've seen surge about 45% compared to pre-COVID times in 2021. And transaction value expected to double by 2025. So very, very encouraging.
Southeast Asia is ripe with opportunities for payments services providers as merchants seek to modernize their payments ecosystems to cater to evolving consumer needs. Nuvei, a global payments company headquartered in Montreal, has set up shop in Singapore recently with ambitions to grow in Asia Pacific.
So we've considerably invested in ramping up the staff and geographical expansion. Part of my relocation from the UK to the Asia Pacific is really about giving it the focus that we need and apply. And we've entered via Singapore, Hong Kong with our full offices, people on the ground, full infrastructure, language, culture, time zone, and particularly focus around customer sales, customer support, technical support, and onboarding the customers in their real time. We localize, regionalize, and internationalize the particular payments. And we provide a whole set of payment tools, which in addition to cards, we have in excess at the current rate today, 586 alternative payment methods. So what does this mean? This means our merchant has a choice of a single integration into the Nuvei platform, and then the a la carte menu of any payments they want to take within the 586. So the single integration gives them the entire range of products and services that they can then deploy within their payment tools for their users to make the payment.
A big catalyst of this digital payments revolution is the increasing popularity of e-commerce among Asia's digital generation.
In JCB, we see the continuous evolution of the customer digital journey. Omni-channel payments, and more recently BNPL, virtual cards, and cards as a service as important trends in the market. Our e-commerce digital transactions have seen high double-digit growth in its share of total card transactions in the last 3 years. It was driven by growth in the digital payment space and JCB's expanding card base in the ASEAN region. On the e-commerce side of digital payments, we are pleased to work with Nuvei on e-commerce acquiring.
While domestic payments are filled with a flurry of activities, it is not the only space in payments that is seeing some love. The cross-border payment space is a hotbed of innovation too. From traditional payments rails to DLT-based solutions, central banks in ASEAN are all looking at how they can make cross-border payments more efficient, transparent, and cheaper. BIS is an organization owned by 63 central banks around the world and has been at the center of these experiments, namely Project Nexus and Project Dunbar, which could potentially shift the way we think about cross-border payments.
So Project Nexus is focused on interlinking instant payment systems. So it's got a retail focus, and it's more near term in terms of the timelines or potential impact it could have. So say between 2 to 5 years sort of implementation time, let's say, to actually put something like that in market potentially. What that means is if you want to send a cross-border payment using this model, you would be able to do that with the kind of convenient use case of just knowing the phone number of the person that you want to send the payment to. And then the systems would talk to each other to resolve that phone number into a name and a bank account. And then that information would be relayed back to the sender. So interlinking fast payment systems was actually our original inspiration was the PromptPay Pay Now service that Thailand and Singapore launched in 2021. That's kind of a bilateral connection between those two countries.
Meanwhile, Project Dunbar is a project led by the BIS Innovation Hub in partnership with the Reserve Bank of Australia, the Central Bank of Malaysia, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, and the South African Reserve Bank to design and develop a multi-CBDC platform.
Project Dunbar is focused on central bank digital currencies. It's focused at the wholesale level, not the retail level. And it's more of a medium to long-term strategic vision, if you will. So kind of 5 to 10 years plus out. I think the BIS and the Innovation Hub framework has been very effective at bringing together central banks to have those conversations and think a bit more broadly beyond just their domestic program around central bank digital currencies.
Payments is shaping up to be the epicenter of innovations this decade. For entrepreneurs and payments professionals alike, there is no region more exciting to be in than in Southeast Asia. The way we imagine payments today will be fundamentally shifted in the very near future.